piece of time. And sing the melodies to me. Couple lines. You won't make a memory. Okay, so that song had come to mind when I was laying down real quick. Not real quick, but I was laying down and all of a sudden the song just popped in my head out of nowhere. Excuse me. The part where it was saying, baby, just breathe. There's nowhere else tonight we should be. And I was laying down and I was just thinking about how my friend Alquan had left and it was all over sex. And that's the most painful part. I'm like, why can't I find a friend, if they're a male, that doesn't want sex? And I hate to say it, guys, but that's been the case with some females as well, some women as well. Like, now that I think about it, one friend of mine who was a person I worked with, I picked up on the vibe that she was like kind of hoping that something would happen between us. I'm not gonna say her name because I know it could be embarrassing, especially if you don't want people to know that you're kind of like you go that way. But that's happened sometime in the past. I'm like, why can't I have a friend that doesn't want nothing to do with me sexually? Like, why we can't just be friends? How friends used to be back when we were in school, like little kids. Like, I was friends with people. We would just laugh. There's two friends. One of my good friends was Maria Manriquez and Kenya, who went to, I think, Southern Oaks Middle School. I think that was the school I met her. I'm not exactly sure. Baby, just breathe. There's nowhere else tonight we should be. And that song popped up in my head after he left, my friend Alquan, because of sex. I was just laying there and I just felt sad, because I was thinking about how after all those years we known each other and things could just fall apart and end and be over the simplest things. But sometimes when I see stuff like that happens, it shows me the person's intentions and the things that were important to them, excuse me, and how they manipulate it and the things that mattered to them the most versus what you thought mattered or what they tried to portray mattered to them. That's why it was a couple men in my life who just up and left over the smallest things. One guy was a pimp dude, definitely had a lack of emotional intelligence because he's supposed to be brutal to a woman. That's why he always threatened me, saying stuff like, if I would have slapped you." He was always making threats about what he want to do and what he was going to do to me, even just for simple things like that didn't make sense to get mad at. I'm like, damn, women like that. There's women out there that love being abused. I wasn't one of those women. I used to hate it when he was acting like I was a pimp, like acting like he was a pimp and acting like I was a hoe. And like one of his hoes to go pimp for him. And like he said if I would have been back in those days, he would have beat my ass or some other stuff. But he said, "We can't do that these days. And when you got family," thank God he saw my family. Little did he know my family would probably be on his side more than on my side. But because he saw the little bit of love that I shared between me and my youngest sister, which was probably the most love I'll receive out of anyone in my family, 414. I heard a siren outside, like an actual ambulance siren, not one of those creatures siren. You wanna make a memory. You wanna steal a piece of time. And you can sing the melodies to me. I love that song. That song was like, I heard that song. It said it was like from 14 years ago. And I'm 31 years old now, so I was maybe like 14. I was almost like, yeah, I was 14 years old, I think. Anyways, I can't do the math right now. I apologize. It is quite simple. I'm sleepy. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. My friend Kwan was hassling me over sex. Okay, I was like, "Oh, that's for my man. If you want it to," and I was like, from a guy that's not my man, if he hassled me for it, and I could use something like money or something else, then I'll take it. Then I was like, well, if you want it that bad, I got to get paid, baby. And I know that sounds bad, y'all, but he like Kanye West said on that song, he is sick F. He likes a quick F. Well, for those of you that likes a quick F, I need a quick buck. You want a quick F? I want a quick buck. I mean, I need a quick buck. So, yeah, I'm trying not to be vulgar, but it doesn't work out like that all the time. This is not marijuana. It's just a cigar. So I was trying to sleep, but when I was tired, he accidentally fell asleep at my house and he needed his machine to sleep with. I even have it on recording about him asking for the shirt off my back that he gave to me that was from his ex-girlfriend. That was hideous. I'm like, so you mean tell me this shirt came from your ex-girlfriend? It was a gray shirt that said, "Catch me in the gym." How about that? How about that? That's how it was spelled. Baby, just breathe. There's nowhere else tonight. We should be. We should be. I wanna make a memory. That song had me so emotional when I was younger because it was kind of nostalgic, whatever how they say it. It was like the most beautiful song that I heard in a long time. That was a contemporary song and not a Christian song. But and then seeing Bon Jovi handsome self, but not now. I'm not sexualizing him. I don't see him like as someone who I got to. When I be attracted to certain people, I don't sexualize them like that. And I heard that that's what men do when they look at women. So, anyways, I'd be like, oh, that's a handsome guy. I don't go crazy over the guys like that either. That's some guys actually respect me because of that. They was like, wow, this woman's not going crazy over me. Let me show her some attention. uh, that song just popped in my head, and it was nostalgic because back then I thought a completely different way, and I'm thinking about how, that song just hits different now that my mom and my grandma passed away a month and a half apart from each other back in 2022, and it's now 2024, February 2024, and just like it's like where has the time gone? I'm like, he said that question. He asked that question saying, you want to steal a piece of time? I was like, baby, I wish I could steal a piece of time and go back in time and change some things and maybe make some things happen that like that I wanted to happen, like my family, all of us be together, and just like I have a vision of me wanting that so bad. For we actually got to do it, but I wanted to do it where me paying for it on behalf of my whole family, and I pay for us a vacation to go to this extravagant restaurant and just bask in the ambience of joy with each other, uh, amongst the food on the table, like the different fancy delicacies and stuff like that, just, and they don't have to worry about a thing. All of my family, my uncles, and then fast forward from 14 years ago to now, you want to make a memory. And I just thought about that and I'm like, it's trashy the memories these people wanted to make, like after finding out about the gang stalking and the unnecessary deaths in the family and all that stuff. Like, it sounds tragic. Literally, it just sounds tragic. Even my uncle said my mom's death was tragic because it happened like a month or a month and a half after my grandma passed away. And it was all of a sudden, and things just didn't sit right. It was like, it's kind of like when spiritual advisor says something about her mom's death never set right with her. And I just recently heard her say that maybe a couple days ago when I was watching her video. She's a tarot reader, a psychic investigator, and the way she told the story, it almost sounded like she may have already been dying and when she was in the bed, and maybe they said that this woman fell out of the bed, and because she had blood under her nails, why would she have died from just falling and hitting her head and her head be swollen? Nice try, guys. Nice try. This world's so freaking evil and wicked. I said it when I was 6 years old to my mom. She told me that. I looked up at her one day and said, "You know what, Mama? There's some cruel peoples in this world." And for me to know that stuff when I was 6 years old, baby, you know it was pitiful back then. It got way worse now. And I see what old folks used to be talking about. They were like, the world just ain't like it used to be. And I'm like, oh, baby, it ain't that bad. But now that I'm 31 years old and I'm looking back all over the time, I see why they said what they said, because over time it just seems like stuff progressively got worse. But the reason why I thought it wasn't that bad is because I was thinking about the dark ages and the medieval times back in the days. But I was like, those were some pretty harsh times, man. Like, they would create stuff to torture people, like creating different tools and stuff. I saw 11/11. They were creating different tools and stuff to torture people with and kill people. I remember seeing a book where they had young kids, like teenage kids, reading a book, showing them the different mechanisms that were created to torture people. That was in a book, like the wheel of death or something like that. Like, you spin the person around until they be knocked all over the place. It was just like, for somebody to sit there and think about different stuff you can make to torture the hell out of somebody to kill their ass. And then I think about how they used to have shows killing people and hanging people. I'm like, damn. So it can't be that bad, but I see why they say it's just not like it used to be. Because even though those harsh things happen, I feel like people have more credibility. They have more integrity at times. Like, even though there were still horrible people out there, they seem like they were like some people had more morals. I see what I mean, and now I see how my family, like my grandpa and them, felt when they talked about stuff like that. They was like, the world just ain't like it used to be, even though they themselves sometimes was doing trashy, toxic things too in the family. You wanna make a memory, you can sing the melodies to me. I can write a couple lines. You wanna make a memory. But I'm just thinking about how, like, the memories that people chose to make, like my no longer friend Alquan leaving out the door because of sex. Like, that's the memory you want to have of somebody. You get in your emotions, you act overly sensitive, and these men have lack of emotional intelligence, and that's okay. It's not okay, but it's understandable is what I mean to say. And they fail to see the error of their ways, but they want to magnify the perceived errors of your ways and don't want to take accountability for the things that they do. And then they want to make a trashy, hideous memory. And I'm like, just think about if that's the only thing that we leave this earth with is our memories. And just imagine how in the spirit realm you make horrible memories with people and you can't reach out to them and talk to them anymore because you're passed on into the spirit realm. And so you're trying to make things right from that end. If you have the ability to do that, depending on what happens, what's your immediate appointment once you like arrive out of your body, let alone the people who don't even believe in that and don't even know that stuff exists. There's people that I've heard say that once you're dead and in the grave, that's it. Wow. Whew. Boy, are they going to be surprised. Well, it sucks the memories that people chose to leave behind and create. And I think about that and it makes me focus and concentrate on my legacy, what I would like to leave behind. What memory of myself would I like to leave behind? What memories do I want to create with other people? Of course, I want happy memories. I want more happy, healthy memories more than, like, gosh, I'm just getting so hot all of a sudden. I shouldn't be having hot flashes. I'm 31 years old, bro. Like somebody was saying, I was having hot flashes. Like I started early, but damn, all I did was smoke a little cigar. Golly. Well, anyways, sorry. Like that was really intense heat right there, like all over my body. So it just it's just certain memories I would have preferred to make, and I felt sad because I'm like, he chose to leave like that. I'm like, I'm tired of these men who are manipulative coming into my life and wanting to leave in a dramatic, unnecessary, childish, problematic way. It's like they draw up something, it's like that's the way they want to leave. It's like they have to remember you in an effed up way to excuse themselves, to make them feel like they've done something to dismiss you. And half the time is men that you already dismissed, but they tried to come back into your life. They beg to come back into your life and then leave in a shitty way instead of just staying gone in the first place. They just wanted to come back and do some more fucked up stuff. He took the shirt off my back because his ex-girlfriend gave it to him, that's in New Jersey, and he said at least she loved him. But I made a video talking about, like, a recording when I was like basically journaling via video, talking about how when I was giving him the love and attention, he neglected it and disregarded it as if it was nothing, trying to get back with his baby mom, who clearly let him know she didn't want anything to do with him. And he tried to team up with her on me. And now here we are 5 years later or more, and they still aren't together. And he's actually, they have a worse off communication than they did before. And he had married some other woman and then came back over here to me after they divorced, talking about some, he loved me. Like he always loved me. And then but when I was trying to see what I mean, like they do stuff like that, and then he's getting mad because I don't, I'm not giving myself to him like I did once in the past when I was much younger. I was probably either just about a decade younger, or a little over a decade. I mean, a little under a decade, maybe 8 years ago, 7, 8, 9 years ago. I was like, dude, that was a long time ago. He was trying to say we used to have sex all the time. No, we did not. Maybe he had sex all the time with other bunch of other people. Like one individual told me they had sex with 300 women. I'm like, golly. And I know there's people out there that have sex with plenty more people than that. But I'm like, how did you keep count? How did you keep count? But yeah, it's just crazy out here, y'all. And that song came in my head. I was just laying in the bed because I was sleepy. I was tired. I wanted to go to sleep. And he's not even my man. He was been supposed to have left the first time, and he stuck around wanting to get sex. So, and not even that, he wanted to get sex again. I was like, dude, stop being greedy. You're not. I was like, if it's my man, he can have sex with me as many times as he wants. But you're not about to just use me. I told him, stop trying to take all my energy. Stop trying to drain my energy. But yeah, it's okay. And then some great news happened. Some other good news happened after that that I'm proud of. Like, I'm excited to go on that journey for the next 6 weeks and see what happens. So, yeah, that song came to mind, and I'm just thinking about. I just wanted to say that to you guys, to think about the memories that you want to make with someone. Like, think about the memories that you want to have in your mind. Like, to keep you from doing this trashy stuff. Like, I looked back over life as I was listening to that song because it came in my head. I was like, oh, I remember that song. And as a matter of fact, it's back. I think she was 12 years old. I might have been 11, 10 or 11. I can't remember, but yeah, I had to be like 11 or 12 too. But there's this woman. There was a Jewish girl, blonde-haired Jewish girl that said her name. Her name was Samantha Polik. I still remember her this day. And she had a little brother named Devin, and I think another little smaller brother named Ryan. I can't remember what's up, y'all. And they used to walk home with us and to school most days. And sometimes their Jewish dad would come and pick them up, um, when they were walking. And I just remember she's the one who actually introduced me to Bon Jovi because she was crazy over Bon Jovi. And I was like, who is Bon Jovi? And then when I heard some of his songs, What? We're halfway there. Whoa. That song, that's the song like I used to sing randomly when I was at work when we were halfway through the day. But it's funny because it's like nostalgic because I'm thinking back on those days when I was much younger and I didn't even realize all the gang stalking that was happening even when I was a young kid. I remember a dude that was trying to steal me to even freaking who drove in front of the driveway while my mom was a district manager for doing the newspapers at Treasure Coast Scripts. Yeah, Treasure Coast Scripts. And it was like maybe 11, 12 o'clock. And then this silver Acura that kept parking with extremely dark tinted windows and the car doors were unlocked. But I said, I think this person is trying to come and take me. So what I did was going in the house and get a knife and waited till they came back again. And then I saw them come back and I got a knife out and I started walking towards the edge of the driveway to the car too. I was bold, baby. That was crazy. I could have got snatched up. But when they saw me have the knife, they locked the door and took off. So back then I wasn't none to mess with either. But it's just that sometimes I had those bold moments, but I still was like, at times my confidence was low, so I was like a people pleaser who just did whatever for people. But I'm just thinking back over it, just that song coming in my head, and then I'm listening to that song. It made me start thinking about all the places that we lived, all the things that happened in life that I can remember. That I can remember very distinctively people's faces, a lot of people's names, the different scenarios in life that happened. Um, it was just crazy, and I look back over life and I see where I am now, and see how far I've come in all that time. And I just realized how much God was protecting me through all along the way through all those different experiences, witnessing alien spaceships that looked like a three-story building on its side hovering coming towards me and my brothers, and my brothers seen it. I heard something humming really deep and low, and then I turn and look into this big building looking ship thing flying. I don't know if it was Project Bluebeam or what, but all I know is that I heard it and I had seen it, and it was moving slowly, and it was kind of like it was turning like this a little bit and then coming slowly to us. And it was big and black, and it had like windows, three windows, and it was like a three-story building turned on its side. Instead of being straight up, it was turned on its side flying, but it was thick because it was like a building. And my brother seen it, and we had my mom's German Shepherd Rottweiler dog. We were taking him out to go use the outside on the ground. I was about to say the bathroom, but they saw that, they took off running. And when we went on the stairs, my brothers walked over me. I was first. I was about to go in first. They walked over me, baby. They said they ain't we ain't do like those people do on those movies when they go to the trouble. They was trying to get the hell up out of the way. And then that wasn't the only time I seen ships. I had a lot of stuff recorded. That's why I feel like they got my phones too, because I had a lot of proof of so many different things. I wouldn't be surprised if one day I saw some of my videos released out on YouTube or Facebook or somewhere, or somebody tried to recreate a video. I'm gonna know too if I see it. But yeah, I'm just thinking about all those different things that happen, all the times I was set up to be framed to fail for something, and how I miss my grandma, and how I miss my mom, and how I had certain memories in my mind of what I thought was going to take place later on in life that didn't get to happen with me and my family, unfortunately. And all the different people I met who I thought were going to be good friends or cool people. I remember the different coworkers. Even not too long ago, a lady I used to work with at Fred Meyer that had white hair that used to deal with black dudes only. She even walked up to me. She was like, "Hey, I remember I used to work with you at Fred Meyer." I'm like, "Where she popped out of the woodworks at?" Over by the Maxwell bar off 185th, next to that little food for you mart or something like that it's called. I forgot. In Hillsboro or Aloha, Beaverton kind of area. And I'm just thinking about all the different faces. It's like I had flashbacks of all that stuff happening. And it was just crazy, man. It was kind of like, it was bittersweet. Just like on the song, he was like, "Look at all the hair we had. It's bittersweet to hear you laugh." On that song. And it was bittersweet to think about those things that happened. in life and how I thought life would go a lot more different than the way it played out in the end, and how tragic it actually turned out in some areas, like how finding out the truth about how I remember thinking of one way of a person back then, and then later on realizing the reality of the truth of how an individual actually was. And I know I look like big back on here, y'all, but I'm kind of strong. And this happened when I was running with my German Shepherd, my ex boyfriend's dog, and the backpack strap was on, and it ripped my skin, and it was white right here, and it healed pretty fast. So I remember I'm doing this because I remember one time somebody had it fucked up, because even though my face is a little chubby right now, I ain't that fat. But it was like, who want to be your friend, fat ass? Because I had put an ad out on Craigslist one time trying to copy what somebody else gave advice for people to do, is charge for people to be your friend for a day, like they rent or pay you to go hang out with them places. And then I remember my confidence was a lot lower then. So when they said that, I removed the pic, but I was to myself cursing them out, like, who the hell do they think they are? I bet you they look worse than I did, because I was looking beautiful actually on that picture. They were just trying to do like some other gay dude did on Facebook, when people were praising me and lifting me up, not like God, but like it's like they were admiring me. And then they was like making little picture frames of my pictures and putting it in a frame and stuff. And random people was coming to my Facebook telling me, who do you think you are? Oh, Obama or George Washington or somebody. They're rolling over in their grave because they put my face on Mount Rushmore. Some dude was doing that. A couple dudes did some stuff like that. Like they edited my pictures to put me in a light like I was some sort of star or a celebrity, or somebody big. And then, but that was on my page. I was minding my business. I just thought it was sweet for them to edit the pictures to do that, like a little free gift. And it was kind of sentimental because it was someone who I didn't know who did that for me. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. You guys see me in a light like that. It's like they were prophetically speaking into my life too. Like they see me as a star, because I've seen people say that to me. They was like, you know what, you're a star. And I'm like, why do they say that stuff though? The reason why I think they say that is because they was gang stalking my ass all along. They was gang stalking my ass all these years, and they was watching me for all these years, and they knew who the hell I was. So that's why I was a star, because like somebody said, it's all scripted. Like and they're correct, because I'm thinking about how I met this dude that was from Lionsgate, who looks kind of like Kanye West, but it wasn't Kanye West. I don't believe it wasn't Kanye West, but he kind of looked like Kanye West, like how when Kanye West's hair was cut short and he had the kind of thick jaws and stuff, and he was walking with some luggage, and there was this lady that called herself Soleil, and she was gay, and she was trying to come at me, but one time I had cursed her out good, and she ain't never speak to me ever again after that. Because they were sending crazy people my way, and it's like they were doing some act of some movie that was happening on set or something like that. But it was like they was using random people who was walking out in the street as free extras or something like that. Because I walked by, I was like, what the hell is going on? So that's how I know that there's some celebrities that know about some of this game stalking stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if the dude that I said looked like Bobby Brown was Bobby Brown in the car wearing a white t-shirt trying to pick me up. No offense, Bobby Brown, if that wasn't you, but Mm, the stuff I didn't witness and had proof of on my other cameras that were stolen now from my phones, I wouldn't doubt it. Because I mean, like, why is Liongate coming over there while I was making a delivery? It was all kind of things I remember happening, and I look back over life and see some stuff that happened, and what I really thought was going on in life wasn't what was happening. And then it's like I look at things now in my life and I look back over certain things that was happening. It's like it totally changes my perspective of my memories of what was going on. So the memories I had is like what I know now, looking back over those things. It shows I recognize what was really going on a lot of the time, and how God was protecting me and shielding me from things that I did not even know that was going on at the time. But I always had strange feelings, like things just wasn't right. And it's like I was trying to wake up. They was trying to keep me from waking up a long time ago. But I finally just woke up all the way. Now, maybe not completely back in 2022. is when I suddenly started having a big awakening, and it was in January, I think. And so, and my grandma was showing me the truth in movies sometimes. It was just crazy stuff going on, like that movie called The Cinderella Story. Not the something like the Cinderella Story, but it's not the one with the popular, not Lindsay Lohan. I can't remember that woman name, but I had liked that lady too. She got blonde hair, and she played, I can't remember the name of that movie, but if I think about it, I'll post it under here. But that was one of my favorite Disney movies. She was a cool chick. It wasn't Lindsay Lohan. It was the other girl. It wasn't Amanda Bynes. Even though these people I'm naming, those were my favorite actresses in some movies too. But I'm just looking back, and I remember how my grandma was watching that movie. It was a Cinderella story or something, but it had the name Bryant in it, and it was funny because a lot of the some of the stuff that was going on in that movie was how my life was, and it was crazy. It was like this little girl. It was kind of a Christian based movie. Oh wow, my grandma told me a message by showing me a movie. What I need to do, I might need to go somewhere else to find my mate. I probably have to one day travel to another state to find my mate. But that's in the future, some at some point in time. But yeah, it just dawned on me. Thanks, Grandma. But yeah, I'm thinking about some things. I see how my grandma was giving me messages for even after she passed away too. I think she knew it was coming because she mentioned something about it shortly before that situation happened. She was like, she might be dead and gone and something else. But poor grandma, I love you. I love you. But I just remember how later on I met a woman at Fred Meyer just walking up to me with a hat on that said lucky or glad I'm alive or glad I'm not dead, I'm still alive or something like that, because these motherfuckers was trying to kill me back in the house, or I was supposed to die too. That's why my sister had laughed one time, my middle sister. She was like, "Hi, Nay thought she was gonna be next." I was like, "MF, you saying that because you know I was supposed to be next. That's probably why you were saying it." Because it was just the way she was saying it. I was like, it's trashy when you find out your own family be knowing certain stuff and they be in on it, but you can't say nothing to them because they just gonna deny it and act like they don't know what you're talking about. So that's why I keep it to myself. I just peep game and I just keep it moving. I'll be like, okay, I see how to deal with y'all on a certain level now. I see what's good. And it was other things that happened and that was said that let me know that they knew some things. You want to make a memory. You want to steal a piece of time. And we can write the melodies for me. Well, anyways, y'all. It's sad. It's a sad, sad story. And like somebody says, like you wake up and you realize one day the world really isn't real. That's why I say it in the Bible. What is it for a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? Y'all know how for a man to profit something about the. I don't read the Bible like that, as you can see, because at one point I was being against it. I know some scriptures in the Bible, but I don't read it word for word. I haven't read the whole Bible. So that's why I don't see myself as a perfect person. They'll be like, then there's some flawful Christian out there who's gonna be so judgmental and be like, see, you can't take none of this woman say. And for example, somebody was calling one of those pastors a heresy, a prophetess lady or something. She has like a ring in her nose right here. But I remember God had used her to say some messages, so I was like, y'all can say what you want. God can use whoever He pleases, whoever He chooses to use. Just because it might not be to your liking doesn't mean that it's not so. But I was laughing because that lady was calling another woman a heresy. I'm like, B, I ain't hear that. I'm like, she the heresy. I can tell already just by her passing judgment like that. 34, 34. I'm like, dang, they be going hard in the paint. They was talking stuff about Catherine Crick, all them people. I was like, y'all love to tackle them mugs, but I don't never be hearing y'all making videos about what these celebrities is doing. God, wait. I'm like, leave Catherine Crick alone. Leave all of them alone. I can't remember that. It's a black lady. She's a beautiful woman, and she has pretty teeth, and she has a ring right here. I can't remember something Montgomery. I think I can't remember the first name. Like it might start with a T or R. It's like I see her face right now, but I'll remember her name. Probably I'll remember it right when I end this video. Tiffany, I think is their name. Tiffany Montgomery. But yeah, and they said she was a heresy. I'm like, there they go, pass the judgment. Don't even personally know the woman, but that's okay because sometimes you don't have to personally know people to have discernment and peep game on who they really are, or what their spirit is like. But the way I read it, it's in my spirit. I'm like, dang, these people are being hard. They being cold to these people. At least pray for the mug. Damn. Lord. You want to make a memory. They want to steal all our time. They even stole my melodies from me. That's okay though. As long as the message get out there, that's all that matters. But I remember a lot of pain too. A whole lot of pain. I'm sure my grandma does too because she told me some her life was hard, bro. Her life was heavy. That's why I knew she was a chosen one. She may have made a mistake and accidentally signed up. And that's one thing I want to tell y'all. Some of these people, they know you a chosen one. And they trying to get you to contract with them. And it's a spiritual, demonic contract. It's like they're trying to steal your birthright from you. Because the numbers 3443 was on a license plate on my grandma's funeral picture. They chose that picture specifically, and I remember that's a trip that they took out to the Bahamas. They always going out somewhere. I noticed that they always want to take a trip and go somewhere like out of the country or to some other state and do something. And anyways, it was like the number three. It was 33 on the outside, but it was 44 on the inside. And I feel like 44 was like the chosen one. And it's they trying to take you. They trying to take some of you chosen ones to get you to come onto their side so you don't fulfill what your purpose here on earth. If we're all going to die anyways, why not go ahead and fulfill the purpose God has for you? At least you'll be blessed when you get out of this body and you be in the spiritual realm. You would have at least fulfilled something that was worth fulfilling instead of living up to these meaningless standards of the society in this world that we live in. But people are so distracted. You care so much about what other people have to say and what they think about you. You let them create your story for you instead of you living out the story that was already written for you to live out. God already has a plan for all of us. It's the devil, Satan, the enemy, the adversary, whatever you want to call it. Eye of Horus. Obviously, if they're the one, if the Masons are worshiping the Eye of Horus and this pitiful stuff is happening, it must not be good. That's why they had it in that movie called The Maze saying wicked is good. And I almost was going that route too. And I was thinking maybe it is good because we wouldn't appreciate the good things that happen if it wasn't for some of the bad things. And maybe we wouldn't be able to tell the difference and they work together for good most of the time. But it seemed like I think about all the horrific things that happens on the earth while we're doing what are handling our business and doing our day-to-day life. The the horrible things that even little children are suffering, going through, dealing with adult people who probably gave their life to the bad side. I'm just gonna say to the bad side, and now they're out there living out the opposite version of the way their life was supposed to go. And I know that it's a spiritual thing because if our life is already thought out and planned out the way it's supposed to go, of course the adversary is going to be there to try to trick you along the way to get you to get off track to think you're going the right way when you're going the wrong way. And in the way the world is set up, they make you think you're going the right way if you follow what everybody else is doing. And that's one person. I've never been that person that always follow what other people are doing. And that's why I never fit in. I was like, ew, I don't want to do that. Just because they're doing it and they say it's popular doesn't mean that it's so. And the next thing you know, what do? They go and copy off of you, the person that's the unpopular one who's not fitting in with the rest of the trends, the rest of the crowd.